on day one of deciding that for my mental health and for my physical health, because I am breaking out in hives, I'm going to be off social media for perhaps the rest of the year, if not just the month of November, and focus on doing things that are aligned with my health. So I can recognize that when I'm on social media, my anxiety is a little higher, and because I have zero idea of like why I'm breaking out in hives, like as far as like an allergic reaction or I don't really have like allergies, so they would have been just basically brand new. And the last time that I had this issue was when I was pregnant and I was really stressed. So I'm gonna assume that this is a stress induced, so I'm gonna take every precaution to lower my stress. The balance of that is kind of ironic in the way, because the stress that I'm having is because of Zen's skin issues, and she's 8 months, and it's time to start introducing solids for 2 reasons. I exclusively breastfeed, and so maybe she needs more nutrients, more food. Some of the research that I've done, social media, says like once you start feeding them solids, they'll sleep more through the night, because she's not really sleeping through the night. The contrary to that, she's not sleeping through the night because she's itchy, and maybe she's waking up for nursing and then itchy, falling back to sleep. Everything is just like a big giant question mark, and I really just have like no idea. But the thing that I do feel pretty confident about for both of us is our diet. So it's time to start introducing, like consciously and more consistently introducing food to her. And so this is Thursday. On Tuesday, I made a pot of meat stock, which is the introductory phase for GAPS diet, which is Gut and Physiology Syndrome acronym. And so the idea behind eczema and the diet is that your gut lining is like essentially like, it's not even like an idea, but it's like the gut lining holds everything. Immune system, how we digest our food. Basically, it's like the central nervous system. It's like the area in which our body processes everything. So if something is going on with our skin, obviously it's going on within our gut. And so she did inherit my gut biome and Dad's gut microbiome. He has eczema, skin issues, and as far as I understand, his family has like some other things like medical, mental things as well. And so does my family, but my family's not necessarily like diagnosed with stuff. 2 of my sisters have, I only have 2 sisters, but 2 of my sisters have digestive issues. I really don't have a lot of issues outside of the 3 times that I've had these major flares. One being when I was pregnant, another one when I was like just starting hair. So that was like 18 years ago. And it was bad enough that I actually went to the emergency room, and I'm still trying to figure out what I should do about this now. But I'm already on the path of feeding her the best I can, and feeding my own self and my household the best I can. It's not perfect, and it hasn't been perfect, but I do make about like 90% of the food that I eat, even like sweets. So I'm not perfect because like I don't really have like much of a vice outlet. I have smoked in the past, not tobacco, and I don't really drink alcohol. So these 2 things actually, something that my mom did throughout my entire life was smoke cigarettes and drink alcohol. So it's not really something that's been interesting to me. It's not for me. I don't like how alcohol makes me feel. And I had smoked my entire, like literally since I was like 14, and I'm 39. So I'd smoked pretty much most of my life. But I'm really having a hard time balancing myself right now. Balancing myself hormonally, balancing myself emotionally. Sleep is all over the place. I'm a first-time mom. So I don't know if it's really helping anymore. So I'm I'm not really using that the same way that I was using it before. And I was using it before, like literally like all day, every day when I was single and traveling and just being my own free spirited self. I didn't really have like a lot of like concerns or issues with it. Occasionally I would stop, but it wasn't really like, I was a very still healthy person and pretty happy. Occasionally I was unhappy, but those are circumstances that are just like, as a woman, maybe we don't perhaps choose the best partners for ourselves. So what I'm doing right now with her GAPS diet is, the first week is just introducing meat stock, and I've been giving it to her in a bottle. It says to give it to her like teaspoons every time that you nurse. I've done it at least once a day, trying to just invite it to her. She doesn't really like it. She kind of is like gagging with it a little bit. So I just bought her a sippy cup. So we're going to try something a little different. Maybe I'll try to water it down. I'm not really sure, but I'm going to start introducing the sippy cup to her. We have tried to give her like pureed carrots once before. She wasn't feeling it. And so like next week I'll start introducing pureed carrots, maybe a little bit of chicken with the meat stock on a spoon. Slowly, just my intention here and my understanding is that I'm building up her gut lining so that she can absorb the food that I'm giving her and hopefully like overcome the potential irritations or intolerances that she's had. For the most part of her life, I haven't really had dairy. I'd slowly started to introduce it, and again, she had like a couple of days of not pooping, and so I ate dairy, and because of the time before, it like really made her go. So I ate dairy and made her go, and then for a couple of days she didn't go again, and today she had another. Like now she seems to be back on normal. She is itching a lot still, but like literally not necessarily any different than when I wasn't eating dairy. So I'm not 100% sure really what to do about that per se. I couldn't tell you if it's eggs, dairy, or gluten. So I haven't really been eating eggs lately. She's still itching just the same. I don't eat a lot of gluten. Everything's still kind of the same. So my trial of analysis here is that we're going to start introducing food to her that is healing her gut and preparing her gut. And same for me. So all I've really got so far is just the meat stock, and today I got little jars to start making purees with, so that'll be kind of like the next step. And while I have the chicken in the refrigerator and the meat stock, I'm gonna hopefully go home with some vigor and make those things, which has been really challenging. So making all of my own food and being the primary caretaker for her and really not sleeping well. In transparency, I do live with her dad and we co-parent. It's a challenging relationship. He is a good dad. He stays home with her while I go to work on the 2 days, and then my mom watches her the third day so that I can go to work. The stress of just like real life is real. I've been a hairstylist for 18 years, and I had just moved to Florida right before I got pregnant, so I hadn't really had an opportunity to really like build a steady income of clientele in my career, so it's just been really like slow. So like money has been just kind of inconsistent, and I feel insecure about that technically. And so the relationship wasn't established between me and her dad when I first met him. We got pregnant basically right away, so there wasn't really an opportunity for him to know who I was outside of pregnancy, and me to know him outside of like having this responsibility put on him. So there's like a lot of relationship challenges. Communication's really hard. It's just really hard. So stress is just kind of like piling up on me. I don't really feel like I have the ability to delegate any of it or share anybody really besides like my moved to Florida to be closer to my family before I knew I was going to get pregnant or could get pregnant, because I was 38 and I had never been pregnant before, and had never been on birth control. Not never been on birth control, but only was on birth control for like 16 to maybe 19. And then I tried it one other time when I was like early 20s. But basically never had a pregnancy that I knew of, and so I didn't really think I could get pregnant. So at this point in my life, everything is happily focused on her and keeping us healthy. And so that's really kind of going to be like my main focus. And scrolling on social media, even though there's information that I'm getting on it, it's not really helpful, especially because the algorithm has picked up the fact that my daughter has eczema, and so it's just like constantly showing me information on that. And as far as I can see and understand, there's not like a topical product that I'm going to be able to put on her that's going to change her skin. It's not. So it makes sense that everything is going to be internal and happening from the inside out. So I'm okay with that. I'm going to just really put my head down and focus on nutrition. I didn't get coffee just now when I was at the grocery store, which is really challenging, especially because I'm barely sleeping. I'm really going to start turning over as much change as I can there. I will be completely honest, and I got stuff for Rice Krispie treats, but it's gluten and dairy free, even though there's sugar in it. I still need some type of joy and slow to turn the dial. I was thinking that there was something else that I wanted to share. Oh, that today, for the first time, I've never done this before, and I might live to regret it, but she's like flaking a lot. Like the skin is like built up in her, not built up because I did just get a little vacuum cleaner. The skin is like flaking in her car seat and on her changing station, and I didn't really notice that before, so I don't know if that's like new and like it's kind of like that's a good sign. But today in the shower, I did just like the tiniest bit of exfoliation on her ankles, which is where the driest part of her skin is, and visually it looks good, and she's not like reaching for it aggressively right now while she's in the back seat, and that's because she's sleeping. So that is good and not so good, because I need to go into the UPS store. So I think that this intention of sharing on YouTube is to get out of the world of Instagram that I've been living in, and I've really only been consuming there, so I don't really consume on YouTube. I just started actually, so I'm gonna work on creating on YouTube and sharing for myself, for her, and for other mothers, because I would have never known the sort of despair and just grief and aggravation that comes with having a baby with skin issues. Obviously, having a baby is really just challenging anyways, but when you add like the lack of sleep and the fact that eczema is making your baby suffer, and then ironically I am now like dealing with my own itchy skin issues, so we're both just like itching and scratching, and like it's like the fucking itchy and scratchy show around here. So yeah, just to kind of document my own process and share with anybody else who finds this information helpful. So more to be shared, and I hope that I can actually do something with this video.